A
Dr.
lot of
John.
those with like, let's just say, the stars and the moon, the sun, which is a star, and those constellations that are out there. A lot of, let's say, astronomers or astrologers of the Old Testament age, and then even of around the time of Jesus, because how did they get there? They followed the star, and they exactly, and yep. And they could have thought, this is something that's not of our world. This is, whether they thought it was an alien or an extraterrestrial or a heavenly being or anything else, they followed this star, even though the Bible tells us we're not to follow or worship the heavenly beings or the stars. And a lot of this could be back in Genesis, where we see it's mentioned of the sons of man or the divine council or the heavenly beings that were around at that time. These beings were here, and they still are here. Jesus cast a lot of them out of people, demons, but at the time they all kind of were in the host of heavens. And so it's very possible that in the very beginning, at least in the Garden of Eden, if you think of our world like one circle, and then heaven and God's kingdom like another circle, but then those two were overlapped, kind of like a Venn diagram. And that place in the middle where they overlapped would have been like that mountaintop where the Garden of Eden was. And so these heavenly creatures, the cherubim and all of the Elohim, interacted with our portion of earth. And that's where Adam and Eve were until some of those heavenly creatures rebelled and then tried to take dominion. Then Adam and Eve were cast out of the garden down to earth along with those heavenly creatures. And then what happened was these creatures said, well, now we couldn't conquer heaven, and they were no longer allowed in that place between. So now they're going to try to conquer earth, which they proved to do through taking control of kings like Nimrod would be one, or like all of these Old Testament rulers who just tried to slaughter and rise to power. And then they built that Tower of Babel, interestingly, trying to reach back up into that area. Now, arguably, the humans may not have known why they were building this tower. They just wanted to reach the heavens. But if they were being controlled or suppressed or oppressed by some of these heavenly beings or demons, the demons were trying to get back to heaven and trying to get into that area to then overthrow. And the humans maybe didn't know that type of a nefarious plan. Greg, I know you're itching to get in here.